What's up, everybody? It's Frankie here. We're in Saarbrücken. It's my monsters, and we're going to be talking about how to close agency clients without even getting on the phone. All right. So now that's a little bit of a bold promise, especially if you're one of those people who've been doing like 6 to 8 hours a day of phone calls. Somebody tells you can get clients without closing them on the phone when you work really, really hard to close them on the phone. Let me tell you 2 reasons why that's actually a very realistic thing that we actually do in our agency, as well as a number of our mastermind members. Heidi B, you want to say hello?
Hello.
There we go. We're up for a little mountain walk. And the first reason I'll tell you that most people need the phone is actually because half the people they're talking to are not the right fit in the first place. And there's a hidden metric in this whole agency space which says, is what I'm doing bringing the right people? And often the reason why it brings the wrong people is we put out messaging and offers that say, like, come one, come all. If you would like to make money in your business, I am the solution. But actually, the more you can tighten that and say, if you are A, B, and C, then I am the right person for your business. And what will happen is only the people who meet A, B, and C will show up on the other side. And so you disqualify half the people who would never have bought anyway, and buy back 50%, sometimes more, of your valuable time. Second reason people need the phone is because they have offers that are hard to sell. They spend an hour and a half on a phone call, an hour, 45 minutes. Daddy, 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 daddy. Hello. Say hello.
Hello.
There you go. Some cuteness. But if you get to the end of an hour and a half phone call and your offer sucks, you will definitely need the phone to work and coerce and persuade and pull out your objection handling and often send proposals and chase them. And a story that illustrates how easy it can be, I remember actually getting a message from one of our group members named Jaron, who told me, once I was fixed my offer, it was like the difference between swimming upstream and then all of a sudden I was swimming downstream, and I was booking 10 appointments a day with relative ease, and they were pre-sold before we even got on the phone on the offer. That's kind of cool. Those are very short phone calls, by the way. They're not hour and a half. Convince me. They're like 6 minutes. Like, yeah, it's a bird. Oh, Mama's working overtime. We probably won't make this video too long. So one of the simplest ways you can get out of that is just stop being like everybody else. And I'll tell you the best place I saw this. I was my last girlfriend. Her and her daughter really loved Harry Potter, so we went to Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida, and we went to the Harry Park theme park. And inside there, I remember at some point they had a drink called a butterbeer, and the two of them said to me, "We got to go get a butterbeer." And confused me, having never seen the movies at the time, say, "What the fuck is a butterbeer?" And all I noticed is that there's a long-ass line in a hot, sweaty day in Florida for a cold drink, and they waited an hour and a half to get in it. And the line for just a drink, by the way, a drink, sugar and ice, was 2 hours long. Not for a ride, but for a drink. And at the end of waiting for this whole thing, we finally got to the front and we got some butterbeer. But somewhere in that line, I said, they got like all these Coca-Cola stands. They're all open. We could just like grab a drink and have our thirst quench in 20 seconds. And they said, nope, we must have a butterbeer. And there's a kind of hidden real lesson in there that in some ways it's better to be unique than good. Because part of the reason why we waited for the butterbeer is, hey, we can get Coca-Cola anywhere, but we can only get a butterbeer here. So one of the things that changing your offer helps you do is become the butterbeer in your niche instead of being the 15 Coca-Cola vendors. So when you have a sales call and you get to the end of it and you're a Coca-Cola vendor, you got to work real hard to sell Coca-Cola because they know there's 14 other places they can get Coca-Cola at. But when you have the butterbeer, the line kind of just starts miraculously forming in front of you without very much effort at all. And so what we do in our agency now is a little bit different, is we have a butterbeer offer to our niche. It's not maybe necessarily exciting to the rest of the world, but to our little niche on the internet, it's very, very exciting. And one of the interesting things is they know They cannot get it anywhere else. And so that puts us in a pretty interesting scenario where we have something they want and there's nowhere else they can get it. And I don't say this from like a power struggle point of view or anything like that. I just mean you can start to do things like, hey, I would love to just send you a little explanation of how it works in a 4-minute Loom video. Can I do that? And often the person will just message back after watching the 4-minute video and say, all right, I'm in. What's next? Let's do it. And that's how we sell our agency offer stuff today. So if you're in a situation where you're like on the phone, which sounds like a blessing, by the way, if you're a beginner watching this, it sounds like, oh, I'd love to have 6 to 8 hours a day of phone calls, until you get 6 to 8 hours of phone calls. Those are 2 ways to get off it. Screen a little harder. If you are A, B, and C, then blank. We can do this awesome thing for you, and get something that's unique. And what you'll find is, magically, the phone call will not be a necessary step in signing agency clients. You can suddenly just question or 2 over an email or messenger and send them a video, and the whole thing is done by the end of the video. Kind of magic, really. So that's the power of the butterbeer. And if you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe and say hello to the monsters. I'm going to go back to being a parent because my lady has been wonderful. So may the force be with you.